Hey everybody, what's going on? I am GamerChick and I would like to welcome you guys back to more of Momentum of Spring, a visual novel that we have recently been reading through. And I don't know about you guys, but I am personally enjoying it. I love the story so far. I love the visual aspects of a visual novel, definitely. And I can't wait to see what else is going to happen in the story. So let's go ahead and read through some more, shall we? Ha! I knocked on the door. Juliana, are you in there? It was a mute question, but Juliana always seemed to appreciate the politeness. For some reason, she took it poorly whenever I assumed she was always inside her room. Which was all the time. I'm coming in, Juliana. Excuse me. Well, at least she had a reason for ignoring me this time. She was playing with that great big mirror again. She'd been fixated on it for days now. It wasn't there last week, and since she gave her appearance about as much regard as her education, I hadn't a clue as to why, how, or where she found it. For those exact reasons, I chose not to ask. And thus, I'd found the first missing belonging. Juliana? First, though, I had to deal with the problem number one. I saw you scared off another tutor again. What? I didn't scare her off. She voluntarily left on her own regard. She wasn't even bothering to look at me via the mirror. That kind of impoliteness took extra effort. A true master. So you scared her off? Really now, are you trying to cycle through the entire academy faculty? Because by the looks of it, the teaching department has already surrendered, and now they're sending researchers instead. Which was the reason I gave her a chance. I was sitting here ready for her to dazzle me with her intellect knowledge about the arcane, but instead she goes into a list of exercises I have to do instead. Exercises! Not the big stuff either, but like things like being able to wave my hands without making everything implode. What's the point? The point is that she's your new tutor, and one of the first things you need to do is accept that not everybody knows everything about you. Autumn already had a hard enough time getting here. Is it that troublesome to just let her know where you're at in the curriculum? I don't like tests. Yes, you don't like tests, but that's hardly the point. She's your tutor. Ignoring how you treated all the past ones, why don't you try doing as this one says for once? I really don't like tests. Why do I feel like you're being difficult just for the sake of being difficult? Listen, you've scared her off for now, but she'll probably be back soon-ish. Soon-ish? If you're lucky. She's gone to find her room. Gone to find her room. That's certainly a new way of saying they're running away. Does this mean she's gone to find her room in another city? At least give her a chance before you dismiss her like that. I know you love putting your tutors through a trial by irritation, but would it hurt you to put your general contempt towards another person's goodwill to side for a change? Besides, as much as you can hope she's gone, I think this one will come back. You do? She didn't look as haggled as the others after their first meeting with you. Does that mean I should try harder? It means you found someone with a modicum of patience. I say this every time, but so long as you keep chasing off your tutors, the academy will never let you back inside. Aren't you concerned about what will happen if you keep this up? You might love playing with the rebellious child, but sooner or later, everyone else will stop playing this game before you do. Doesn't that mean I've won? Juliana, she always looked on the bright side of torturing others. Please don't make me have to write another apology letter. Every time I let the academy know that you've terrified another tutor away, they seem to misplace another month's allowance for us. The academy barely sends enough money just to cover the cost of using this chapel. Do you know how much we're being charged to stay here? Enough for you to endlessly complain, but not enough for us to leave, so probably just about right. That's... ugh. With my lecture to Juliana failing spectacularly yet again, I decided to spend the remainder of the afternoon in the company of silence. I went about the process of searching every nook and cranny of the chapel for a stash of misappropriated goods, including a ship's wheel. It wasn't productive. I was still unfamiliar with everything this building had to offer, yet even in the face of failure, I carried on searching. In fact, I was strangely energetic. Aside from wishing to lose any stolen goods in the residence I was staying in, I was also allowing myself to grasp into the hope that this one time, of all times, that things would be a little different for the eternal delinquent under my care. It was a rare assurance from this missing optimist in me. A groundless feeling that tonight I would have one less letter to write. Hello? Is anyone there? Autumn, is that you? Ah, thank goodness you're still here. She didn't need to sound so relieved. This chapel was my prison. I'm sorry for letting myself in. I tried knocking, but nobody answered. Oh, that's my fault. Nobody ever knocks around here, so I thought Juliana was trying to destroy the window in her bedroom again. Again? Why would she do that? Well, it's not on purpose. It's for whatever it's worth. When she can't be bothered to walk upstairs to bug me to buy her food, she uses magic to pilfer it from random houses all across the town. It's quite remarkable. She can make every apple strudel within half a mile shoot through the nearest chimney and straight towards her. I'm not even sure if I've heard of this spell before. It's very impressive, except that Juliana often forgets to open her window first, so it just results in me needing to clean away the destruction. It's not really something I am ever in a rush to do. I see. I suppose that if she finds herself morbidly hungry, a lack of refinement can be excused. If that was true, I've wondered why her table manners only got progressively worse the more she ate. Is there something wrong? Did you leave something here? You're not here to say goodbye, are you? Oh no, I'm not here for that. Well, not yet at any rate. If that was a joke, I did not see the funny side. I'd heard that particular conversation too many times already. This is rather embarrassing. But I simply haven't been able to determine which inn, if any, I've been contracted to stay in. I visited every prominent establishment to inquire about a reservation from the academy, without success. And I'd rather not visit the less renowned ones. That's probably a good idea. In any case, I went about asking for a private room, but I was told I have too much luggage. Apparently there's no room large enough to accommodate my belongings, no matter how much I insist Professor Hazeldine can foot the bill. I snuck a glance behind her. Unless my eyes were deceiving me, there was a bookshelf sticking out amongst her suitcases. If you're feeling lost, would you like to stay in the chapel? It's only me and Juliana living here. There's more than enough room. Really? Autumn looked like all the weight of the world had been lifted from her shoulders. Perhaps that was the case, considering all she had dumped behind her. Thank you. That would be greatly appreciated. So, you reside in this chapel with her. I thought you might have your own separate accommodation nearby. I probably would do it if I didn't have to spend enough money on food for a very large family. I see. I'm sorry, Emily. You must have a difficult time. Thank you. But I'm not sure if I should be receiving any sympathy when I see all those suitcases behind you. Did you carry all that? I did. Would it be okay if I requested your assistance? I apologize. This will likely take up a lot of room. Oh, of course, and that's fine. We have plenty of room. She shot an accusing look at her belongings. I wasn't sure how much to pack, so almost all my books and apparatus are gathered here. It was difficult to ferry them across town. I can imagine. Isn't there a spell for moving luggage? Ah, yes, I suppose there is. It would be a relatively simple act to propel levitation. You didn't use it? No. I could, but for the sake of staving off laziness, I thought better of it. And more besides, it'd be rather show-offy. So considerate sorceresses did exist. What a relief. Up until now, all I'd seen from the Academy's purveyors of magic was an ability to hog every barrel of liquor in town. Anyway, where should I take my luggage? Which room? Well, I could at least answer this one with confidence. The biggest one. Welcome to the 3rd floor, otherwise known as the attic. Oh my! Is this where the sisters sleep? What a surprise! Yes, it's roomier than what you'd expect, isn't it? Huh? Oh, right, I suppose. Or did you mean... no, how do I say this? Well, it's a bit shameless, but the dormitories at the Academy are a bit more... spacious. Ah, so when you said you were surprised... I'm sorry, I've just made a terrible impression of myself, haven't I? No, not at all. In fact, I probably only think it's roomy because of all the inns I've stayed in. I see, you're well-traveled. I wouldn't know about these things. I've never stayed in an inn before. Never? Never. To be honest, I was very confused when I was told my luggage wouldn't fit in a room for one person. It had no trouble finding room on the carriage. Well, I've seen the carriages the Academy uses. I don't think you should use them as a standard for anything normal. True. Ah, how embarrassing. Juliane isn't in the wrong about this. Some of us really do lack common sense. Myself included. She had my sympathy. Not least because a year ago I was more or less in the same position as her. Or worse. No, much, much worse. Sticks for brains as far as common sense was concerned. And yet, now I had the suspicion I'd been shunned too far into the realm of the world-weary. The company I keep. Well, feel free to amend anything to your liking. Nothing about any of this is normal in the first place, so cheating wherever you can is fine. That includes magic. Please go ahead and use any forbidden rituals you know of. The sisters won't mind if you conjure up extra space. Providing it doesn't stick out too much. I'm sorry to say that type of spell does not exist, although not for a lack of trying. May I put my belongings down here? Yes, anywhere is fine. My bed is in the corner. Please feel free to choose any for yourself and I'll prepare new sheets. You really are a caretaker, I see. It is my primary duty. Isn't protecting her your primary duty? I've heard that only trained knights are assigned to guard sorceresses, but you don't strike me as a particularly maritally inclined. Oh, not that I'm criticizing you, I'm merely babbling. The knights at the Academy have a considerably more gleaming quality to their appearance. Emily, are you okay? Yes, thank you. Just felt a bit queasy to my stomach. I see. Do you require something for that? I have medicine in my belongings. No, it's fine, thank you. I have a magical handkerchief. A what? Oh, nothing. Just something a complete stranger gave me. Actually, let's get your things arranged, shall we? Yes, let's. But if it's possible, I'd certainly like to take a look at that magical handkerchief you possess at a later time. It's my magical handkerchief. Physical exertion really doesn't suit me. We don't typically do a lot of heavy lifting at the Academy. Not unless hauling away the debris from the odd failed experiments count. So it wasn't just Juliane. They were all slapdash with their debris conjuring powers. I think since I've arrived here, my arms have already become slightly thicker. Oh, wait. Emily, that box. I believe you should let it down. Gently, that is. Very gently, as if you're cradling a baby. Oh, sorry. What's inside it? This and that. This and that would be magician speech for a deadly reptile pet? Oh, how did you know? Wait, really? No, of course not. We don't allow pets on the academy grounds, nor do we frequently employ reptiles in our studies. Depending on the species, reptiles can be remarkably resistant to the effects of modern spellcraft. There are far better test subjects out there for appraising magic techniques, such as the new apprentices. I'm sorry, but I can't tell if you're being serious. These boxes really should be marked. What an oversight, and I spent so long packing, too. For the first time, I had an inkling of understanding as to why Juliana never had a good word to say about that school of hers. Thank you, Emily. You've already helped me move the bulk of my things. The rest are quite light and delicate. A few vials and some notebooks prone to spontaneous immobilization. I can handle. I should handle them myself. I was all too happy to oblige her. Even earlier, had I known her personal effects suffered from... I don't know what that word is. By the way, is there a writing desk that I happen to miss? A writing desk? No, not in the dormitory. I think the sisters only use this area for sleeping. There are desks downstairs in one of the halls. I could try pulling one up, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be moving the furniture around. No, that's fine. Please don't mind me. I'll sit on the floor and use the bed as a surface. I have a feeling that both my lesson plans and reports will be brief anyway. You've been asked to write regular reports, too? No, this is something I've chosen to undertake. Proper documentation is important, especially so with Juliana, since all record of her seems to be either non-existent or inaccessible. As such, I'll have to make my own. The only information I have on her are from second-hand rumors, of which there are plenty. Perhaps the reason nobody wrote any reports was because her tutors regularly attempted to drink the day's memories away. To begin with, what can you tell me about Juliana's schedule? She doesn't have one. She mostly sleeps and eats. Sometimes she yells at the children. I see, so she's very consistent in her lack of discipline, both in and out of the academy. Well, I'll do my best to create a semblance of order before Professor Hazeldine arrives. You might have to help me implement it, though. As her caretaker, Juliana must have some measure of trust in you. Only to the extent that she trusts me not to poison her food. She sounds more endearing by the moment. I suppose I should pay Juliana another visit soon. Thanks to you, we're almost done. Once I have everything in a spot I can reach, I'll give her the bad news regarding my stay. In fact, I was waiting to inform her every time I hauled something upstairs, but she never came out to inquire. And she's probably taking her afternoon nap. Her afternoon nap? It's evening. It's called her afternoon nap because that's when she begins it. When does it end? When she calls out for me to bring her dinner. Afterwards, she'll go back to sleep, depending on whether or not she asks for dessert, too. I see. She must work very hard behind the scenes to require so much time sleeping and pampering. Yes, let's just go with that. In any event, I don't believe you'll be seeing her until tomorrow. I suggest you take the time to get used to the rough furniture here. I realize that the academy has spoiled me, but I'm not that hopeless. I hope. Or are the beds really that uncomfortable? Well, it's not that they're really uncomfortable. It's more that lodging in a chapel can be quite the surreal experience. You might discover that the nights can feel quite heavy. Sleeplessness is a frequent gust here, even without Juliana's help. I can certainly imagine that staying in a chapel can bring out the squeamishness in you. Sleeping in a place that's by all definitions, holy ground. Honestly, it should be used for more important things than sheltering one perpetually dissatisfied girl. Well, at least the accommodation fees we're paying is going to a good cause, I think. I hope the sisters are enjoying themselves at the capital, and will do so all the way until our shrinking money pot finally runs dry. I'm actually starting to think the sooner the better. It might be less trouble for me if we found a tree to camp under. I won't have to apologize to the residents anymore. Would Juliana accept camping under a tree? No, I think she'd end up squatting in somebody's house if she was forced to live in a tent. Then rejoice. You're performing a public service by acquiring this chapel. You're quite free to try taking that line the next time somebody knocks on the door looking for a sermon. I think I'll let you handle that. There's no mob outside the door demanding that you vacate. It seems you're doing an excellent job already. That's only because the residents haven't realized Juliana's the reason all their pudding's constantly getting kidnapped. All the more reason you should be proud of your accomplishments. To me, it's a wonder how you've kept at it for so long. It's not that hard. I'm not a tutor. All I need to do is stop her from nibbling on the upholstery. It's gonna be more difficult for you. In that case, I'll begin with drawing up a lesson plan for tomorrow. A greatly revised lesson plan, that is. I'm not sure what it'll look like since I was hoping to have at least some idea of where she's at in the syllabus. All I know is that she's capable of creating magic as temperamental as her ego. That tells me a little bit and not yet a lot. You've helped, though. If she can pilfer puddings without direct eye contact, then this at least suggests her an intermediate level of spell mastery several grades beyond hers. Now, if there was only a way to make that skill into a public service. The day kitchens are inundated by a sudden pandemic of sweets and desserts, nobody else can be relied upon more. By the way, I can't help but notice something rather glaring and bizarre about Juliana. Please be more specific? Well, it's the state of her ears. Nobody told me about them. Nobody. I'm sorry, there's no other way around this. They're fluffy, like cat ears. Frankly, I really want to know about them. Has she been possessed by a very disgruntled feline spirit? If that was the reason for her grumpiness, I would have cured her with a day trip to the fish market months ago. I can't help you, though. I have no idea how they came about. So she was like this when you were first introduced to her? Yes. I was surprised at first, too, but I've gotten so used to them that I don't really see them anymore. How strange, then. She must have had them for a while now. I think so. Have you asked about them? Of course. And what did she say? Nothing. She really doesn't talk about them. At all. At all? Well, to date, Juliana has refused to acknowledge the appearance of her ears. If pressed, she'll deny anything is amiss, and continued attempts only ever cause her to set nearby furniture on fire. So I stopped asking her. Do you have any other theories? This isn't a field I know much about. By field, you're referring to charm-based spellcraft. Isn't that what it is? In that case, that's what I'm referring to. I know many sorcerers who make it their life goal to research all manner of ways to improve their appearance, even at the expense of far more worthy research. But I've never known anyone to charm their own ears specifically into a shape of a cat. I don't think the Academy has spawned a sorceress eccentric or bored enough to do that to themselves. I wonder if it's a curse. To alter the appearance of ears for such an extended period of time would require enough skill to do much worse. If she's unable to reverse the spell, it's possible that some grumpy professor had set a highly adolescent and undocumented curse on her as a parting gift. These generally require more than elementary incantations to remove. Ah, a curse. Everything's clear now. Well, truthfully, I have no idea. Given time and her willingness, it's certainly something I'd like to research. It's rare for both charms and curses to persist for such a great length of time without continued reapplication. Do you think she'd be open to the idea of letting me study her ears? I can't say for certain, but I think not. I'll have to see if I can somehow bargain for compliance as my research as my research later. If she'll get something out of it, you might have a chance. I see. This is quite unexpected. I don't know if I would have a chance to commit my very first student as research material, too. Hearing the ting of expectation in Autumn's voice, I started to wonder if the Academy had inadvertently sent a much more imposing challenger than Professor Hazeldine would have ever been. Yes, maybe she really would survive the night. Alright guys, unfortunately I have gone way over in episode time. We're at 25 minutes in. Holy crap, I did not realize that. We're gonna have to go ahead and wrap it up here. I hope you guys are enjoying the visual novel, and I hope you guys will continue to come back for more. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment down in the section below if you do want to see more of the visual novel. And as always, don't forget to subscribe as well if you have not done so already. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!